Hi friends, welcome to your mat today. I'm Val, and today what I've got for you is a really gentle and balancing yoga flow that will focus on the lower three chakras. We have 7 main chakras that resonate along the spine. So we'll be working with the 3 lower chakras of the root chakra or the Muladhara, the sacral chakra or the Svadhisthana, and the solar plexus chakra or the Manipura. And I'll get to those a little bit more in just a moment. But essentially, our lower chakras are really what govern our physical and our emotional self within the physical realm, within the material realm. So our upper chakras connect us more to that spiritual realm and the spiritual self. Having our awareness focus on the lower 3 chakras will really bring a sense of centeredness, inspiration, creativity, and power, self-esteem, really connecting us to ourselves in this physical space of how we exist. And these chakras, or wheels of energy, spin at, or we want them to be spinning at a balanced speed, right? Because they are constantly rotating this energy that supports and connects to different organs, different nerves, different areas of the body that provide different functions for the body. So we want to do our best to constantly bring balance into our chakras through, different modalities of movement, of breathing, of rituals or sound resonance. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do to connect to different chakras, even like carrying specific stones or smelling certain scents. Today, we're going to be focusing on the physical aspect of it through a yoga flow, because when they are in balance and aligned, we have prana, which is our life force energy, able to flow freely through them. So there's no blockages. Now we'll come back to the chakras. So our root chakra or the Muladhara translates to root support. And as you can guess, it is basically what allows us to be connected to this physical earth, to the ground. You can think of it as like a gravitational pull to the earth's energy. And within our roots, just like anything with, let's say, a house, right? You can't build the walls, you can't have the tiles on the floor, the wood on the floor until you have a solid foundation. Nothing else can exist in a proper function without a really strong foundation. So within our physical self, we can't allow anything above to function properly until we feel really grounded. So our root chakra comes up in the sense of like security, stability, feeling protected, and feeling just that sense of comfort. It's almost like coming home to yourself. It is your home, yeah? So maybe when our root chakra is out of balance, we can feel really fearful. We can feel like, we have the ground pulled out from underneath us, or we're really unstable. Maybe if you don't have a home base and you travel a lot, like perhaps your root chakra is a little out of balance, and that's okay. There's things to do to bring more balance into feeling that grounded sense. So we'll really focus on the legs to connect us to the root chakra. And the root chakra is associated with the color red, and it's also controlled by the element of earth. So you can think about that earth energy. One of my favorite things to do to connect to my root chakra is barefoot walking, earthing, it's called, right? Ground you and connect you to Earth's energy. So when we have that really strong foundation in our roots, we bring our awareness up to our sacral chakra. Svadhisthana. Svadhisthana translates to sweetness. So sweetness really within our physical body is like where we feel. It's our emotions. By the way, the root chakra is at the base of the spine. The sacral chakra is right below the navel and above the pubic bone. And within this space, this is kind of like the seat of our creativity. It's the womb. It gives us the sense of feeling into movement. It's the pelvis and the hips. So you might really experience a lot of tightness in those areas. If you do, maybe your sacral chakra is more imbalanced. Because within this emotional space of the sacral chakra, we can feel a lot of tension through trauma, through not being able to express what brings us pleasure and sensuality, and creativity and joy. So, this area is really like our space of desire and want and need. So, in the sacral chakra, we focus on the color orange, and we are connecting to the element of water. So I love to think of like the sense of fluidity. A ritual that you can do that isn't on the mat, or you could even do it on the mat too, is to dance, to just kind of get the energy flowing, right? Our roots really provide that sense of stability. And when it rises up, when that energy is functioning properly, spinning at that balanced speed, then it can create this foundation for the sacral chakra to feel that ability to express movement how we need to express it. Sometimes you can have a blocked sacral chakra by really suppressing your emotions and not having that support to really share those emotions and those desires. So if you feel like you have to block that sense of your like what brings you joy, what allows you to feel creative and expressive, if you have a hard time expressing that, then perhaps we need to bring a little bit more balance to the sacral chakra. So when we have that balanced, we travel up to the third chakra. And the third chakra is right above the navel and below the breastbone. It is our solar plexus chakra, otherwise known as Manipura. And Manipura translates to lustrous gem. So this is really our area of transformation in the body. It's like, okay, I'm really grounded in my root, and I'm aware of my emotions and my desires in my sacral. And knowing that and having that sense of wholeness between those two, then in the solar plexus is where we can transform and really step out into the world as like, I'm going to do this. I am going to express this because I have that sense of confidence within my feelings and within my roots, and I'm going to share it with the world. So it's how you really express yourself outwardly. It's your identity. Sometimes imbalanced solar plexus chakra can be really caught up in the ego, in like your self-worth. If you don't feel worthy, if you feel like you're really low self-esteem, you may be imbalanced in the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is connected to the color yellow, and it is controlled by the element of fire. Thinking of the solar plexus chakra, it's really where we have that power and that will to do things, to share things, to express things, to move forward in a direction. It just gives us that boost of self-confidence. One of the ways that you can really connect to the solar plexus chakra is by breath of fire, or kapalabhati. It's a pranayama, so a breathing technique that brings heat into the body while bringing this purification. In a physical sense, on the mat, you might see it come up as abdominal sequences or bringing awareness to the core. Also through detoxing and twisting. Twists are a really beautiful way to get rid of anything that's not serving us and just kind of release that out. So that's a way that you can see that both on and off the mat. Another thing too is that the solar plexus chakra is controlled by the color yellow. I like to think of it as the sun. The sun provides that heat, that warmth, that vitality. The sun gives us energy. This is basically our energy center to do things. So when we have the three of these chakras balanced and in unison with one another, they can work optimally and function for us to really step into this world as we are, as we see ourselves, and provide this pathway for our upper chakras to then really connect to that spiritual realm. Because if we're really ungrounded down here and we're really out of whack and we can't connect to our emotions and we can't express ourselves and have the trust within ourselves, then we definitely won't be able to connect to that spiritual self. So it's really important to focus on the lower three chakras in order to expand your consciousness, expand yourself into, the higher realms of self. So today's class, we will be working on those lower three chakras. We won't need any props unless you like to blocks. I'm sitting on a block and I have an extra one here, but you don't need them. They're not necessary. I did want to share one more thing before we got moving, and it's from the book Chakra Yoga by Anodia Judiths. And it just shares a nice way to understand the chakras, the lower chakras at least, in a different way. So it says, the first chakra gives you your foundation, a ground to root into in order to reach the stars. Without the solidity of matter, you have no edges or boundaries for containment, no way to build up energy, nothing to push against in order to rise. In the second chakra, you get matter moving. You move your body, your joints, your breath, your emotions, and your prana. The faster you move, the more heat you create. This heat is caused by friction, matter moving against matter. So matter and movement combine to generate the element of the third chakra, which is fire. And having a strong internal fire gives you the spark to do anything in your life. I love that because it's true. When we feel really connected to, our goals and our dreams and our desires, we need to set a space up for ourselves to feel firm in them, to connect to the emotions that they might bring, but we just have this container for them to be. And then in that sense, we can allow ourselves to walk into the world and towards our goals and our dreams confidently, knowing that no matter what happens, it happens because we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And you are exactly where you are supposed to be, right here, right now, on your mat. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you for showing up for yourself, for taking the time to do better for yourself, move in a way that will support your body and, all in all, support your mind, your spirit, and connect you to you a little deeper. Here on this channel at the Healing Home Journey, it is my passion to help you connect towards the light within. If you are someone who enjoys the practices of yoga, meditation, and mindfulness to connect to yourself on deeper levels, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and be sure to turn on the notification bell as well so you don't miss out on any future videos. We're going to get started at the top of our mats standing. All right, my friends. So meeting at the top of the mat, navigate into a stance that feels really supportive for you. Generally, about hip width apart feels really grounding, but you might need a little wider, and that's totally fine. All 10 toes point forward, and then just as you arrive, start to find some gentle movement as you send your weight forward and back into the feet. So we maybe lift the heels and maybe lift the toes. And then you can send the feet or send the weight towards the outer edges of the feet and the inner edges of the feet. And just really working towards finding your way to your center line of gravity. And as you find your way there, ground into stability and stillness. Look down and begin to lift all 10 toes. And as you lift all 10 toes, think of spreading your mat apart east and west with your feet. So right away, you start to engage all of the muscles in the legs from the glutes down. And as we do that, we start to hug the muscles to the bone. So we can really feel the sense of like roots going straight down into the ground through the four corners of your feet. So lifting the 10 toes will really allow this opportunity to connect with the four corners of your feet. So the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and the two edges of the heels root down. I like to think of it almost like I know this sounds a little rough, but if you had nails like nailed into the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and those corner edges of the heels, you're not moving. You're cemented down into there. You're kind of stuck in this position just for now. So as you find that, lifting all 10 toes once more, if you lowered them, we're going to try lowering down from the pinky to the next toe, the middle toe, the pointer, and then the big toe. And feel this root, feel this connection, and feel this sense of, okay, I am here. I am grounded at the top of my mat. The floor is beneath me. I am standing tall. Continue that engagement of your legs. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. The hands can rest on the hips for more stability. They can float down by your side. Fingers can reach towards the earth, thinking of you also having roots out through the fingertips. And really stand tall. Start to feel the kneecaps lift into the quadriceps. The thigh bones lengthen as the hips lengthen, and the tail starts to root down towards the ground. So there's this rooting down and this upward rise of energy through the legs. So as we really stable into that Muladhara chakra, then we start to explore into the sacral. So I invite you to keep your legs really grounded, keep your feet really grounded, and start to move into the hips. So the root governs the feet, the legs, and the sacral starts to govern into the hips and the pelvis. It's okay to have a micro bend into the knees. It's actually encouraged so we don't lock out the legs. And as we start to move, we start to feel into this fluidity. Now, this is all about creativity and expression in the sacral chakra pose. So maybe your hands start to move with you too. We're taking these circles just to start to get some movement and fluid through the hip joints. You can go in opposite direction if you haven't done so already, and just start to kind of wiggle in a way that feels yummy for the body. You can be doing this as small or as large and exaggerated as possible, but go with what feels good. Yeah. And then we'll start to bring that movement back to our center line of gravity. Have your hands come to your hips, and we're just going to take some very gentle pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, send your belly forward, send the tail back, and create this anterior tilt of the pelvis. As you exhale, feel the tailbone tuck under you and hugging the lower abdominals in. So we're starting to just create these rocks as you inhale. Have a soft bend into the knees. Feel that tailbone reach back behind you, a little arch coming into the low back. And then as you exhale, lengthening through the tailbone creates length through the spine, and this hugging in of the hip points towards the torso. We start to connect our breath and the movement into unison. So notice your breath. We're going to get a little deeper into the breath as we travel up into the solar plexus. So take about 3 more tilts of the tail or of the pelvis. Good. And then we'll come back to that sense of stillness. Bring your hands to your belly. So fingers can kind of point in towards midline. And we're going to draw that energy all the way up from the roots, from the sacral into the solar plexus through the breath. So just take a moment as you breathe in through the nose, feel the belly rise and expand. As you breathe out, feel your hands as the belly draws back towards the spine. The hands start to kind of press back and deflate. So as you inhale, you inflate into the hands. And as you exhale, you feel it empty out. And really empty out, feeling like that it's almost like a vacuum from inside where you can't empty out anymore. And then inhale, fill up. And exhale, empty out. Good. We're going to begin to invite Ujjayi pranayama into our practice. Ujjayi translates to victorious breath. It brings in warmth into our body by constricting into the back of the throat. So as you inhale, feel that soft restriction create almost like a kind of sound, but with the lips sealed shut. So breath in and out through the nose. And same for the exhale. And really take note of your exhale, fully emptying out. Inhale. Exhale. Do more like that. Keep your breath flowing like that, allowing the heat to build, and on an inhale, rise the arms high to the sky. Interlace your fingers, except your pointer and your thumb, and reach the fingers up towards the sky. Let the biceps be alongside the ears. Keep rooting down through the feet and lifting up through the fingers. Soft bend into the elbows is okay, but try to not have a big bend here. We're looking for the length. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll reach over towards the right side. So root down through the feet, especially the left heel, the left four corners of that foot. And as we come into the side bend stretch, we're bringing a lot of opening into the left ribs, the left lungs, trying to peel the ribs away from the hips. And really filling the breath into that open space. With an inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, reach up and over towards the left. Root down through the right foot. Keep lifting up and out of the ribs. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Bend into the knees and start to send the hips back so you come into this like halfway kind of fold, or halfway lift rather, but more of like a crouched position. Again, you can take note of your feet, maybe bringing your gaze down to them, making sure you're not really gripping into your toes, right? We don't want to root down into the toes. We want to root down into the four corners of the feet. Legs are active by spreading or trying to spread the mat apart, feeling the sits bones widen, really creating a lot of length in the spine here. At the same time, feeling the outer abdominals start to hug in towards midline to create that sense of support, to create that power within, the confidence to hold yourself up, the strength to feel in this posture. And take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll release the hands all the way down towards the ground or the blocks if you have blocks. So blocks can come on any level of the setting, the lowest one, the medium one, or the high, whatever feels most supportive for you. Now, if your hands can touch the ground, that's totally fine. Maybe you bring a small or big bend into the knees. So if you're someone with a lot of tightness in the hamstrings, a bigger bend is welcomed and encouraged. It's okay for the torso to be resting on the thighs. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths, so invite the chin to soften towards the chest as the crown of the head spills towards the ground. And then think of your awareness pulling up that energy from the earth through the feet, really nourishing up through the roots. And releasing out tension from the backs of the legs and the back of the body. Good. Take one more full round of breath here. And on an inhale, return your hands up the legs towards the thighs. Take your time, move nice and slow, mindful movement. Reach the heart away, reach the crown of the head towards the front of the room. And then as you exhale, we'll rebend, planting the hands down, step the right foot all the way back, lower the right knee down to the ground when the toes touch, and then come up into your low lunge or Anjane Asana. I'm taking an extra moment to check in with the front knee, stacking it over the ankle. So if it's really beyond, try to keep it at more of a 90-degree angle. If it's further behind, that's okay. Just work towards having it stack. That front foot is planted in the base of the foot. The top of the back foot is rooted down. We're squeezing the inner thighs towards this imaginary midline to help rise us up, to help really firm into that foundation and stabilize through the lower half of the body. With an inhale, float the arms high to the sky. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll reach the hands down and back as we straighten through the front leg. It doesn't have to be a huge straighten, right? You can still have a micro bend into the knee and then hinge and lean forward. So we're just going to start to get into that movement aspect, targeting sacral chakra. As we inhale, we're going to come up, rise the arms high, biceps alongside the ears, reach up, root down. As we exhale, hands sweep back, half splits, reaching through the fingers to the back of the room. Maybe you lift the toes here, feeling the strength into that left leg. And then inhale, rise up. We'll do that one more time from low lunge to half Hanumanasana, half splits. Reach the heart forward, reach the fingers back. Inhale, come through center, low lunge. As you exhale, plant the hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step the back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step the left foot back. Once the toes come down, the knee comes down. Take a moment, really ground into that front foot, knee over ankle, toes point forward. Tail, start to reach it down towards the ground to create this openness into the front body, especially into that left hip. Then rise the arms high. Big breath. Really stabilize here, squeezing your inner thighs, pressing into the top of that back foot for extra support. Full breath in. As you exhale, nice and slow, start to sweep your hands down and back. Start to straighten any amount through that front leg. So we're just opening up more into the hamstring. It's okay to lift the toes off the ground, but you don't have to. So if you feel more stable having them lower, great. Inhale, float the arms high. Exhale, sweep it back. One more. Inhale, float the arms high. And exhale, sweep them back. Inhale, float the arms high. As you exhale, plant the hands down. This time, step your right knee to meet the left, tabletop position. Hands plant down, fingers spread wide. The tops of the feet root down into the mat. Knees are under the hips, wrists are under the shoulders. From here, we're going to move into some cat-cows. So same aspect of the tailbone tilting into anterior and posterior, just on a hands and knees position. So as you inhale, belly drops down, heart reaches towards the front of the room, opening up the front body, coming into that anterior tilt. As you exhale, rounding the spine, press the ground away from you, hollow out the front body, really connect to that emptying out of your breath. Inhale, return to your cow pose. Draw the shoulders down the back body. As you exhale, rounding the spine, creating space between the shoulder blades, hollowing out the front. Inhale to your cow pose one more time. Feeling like the spine can create a smile. And then as you exhale, round into your cat pose. From here, come to tabletop position. Widen your knees as wide as your yoga mat. Let your big toes come to touch. Sink the hips down towards the heels, coming into Balasana, child's pose. Walking the hands towards the front of the mat as the chest and the forehead reach down towards the ground. If the ground feels really far, that's okay. Just place a block in between the head and the earth. If you're looking for more of an active approach in this pose, Keep your fingers reaching towards the front of the mat and the elbows lifted, feeling the shoulders draw down the back body towards the hips. If you're looking for more of a passive approach, then just begin to bend the elbows and plant the hands down, almost spiraling the fingers in towards that midline. And then just reconnect to your breath. Reconnect your awareness to your hands, the tops of the feet, the shins, the knees, maybe even the elbows or forearms, connecting to the physical space below. Notice the belly rise and fall on the inhales. The breath touch into the back body and the side bodies. Take a full breath in and a gentle sigh out. Start to walk your hands under the shoulders. Press yourself up, lifting the chest away from the ground. Begin to rise the hips away from the feet and walk the knees in slightly. Tuck the toes and send the hips back towards the heels. Once again, coming into toes pose. So this pose is really great to start to awaken the feet, the legs, the energy flowing through the body. If it's not enough having your hands down on the ground, you can always walk your hands towards your thighs and let the head stack over the shoulders stack over the hips. It'll definitely bring more sensation into the stretch. So if it's too much, just back out of it. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. So to take deep inhales through the nose and deep exhales out through the nose, really emptying out the breath, feeling that heat through the body. Start to lower the hands down towards the mat if you had them lifted. Gently begin to untuck the toes, keep the feet lifted, and start to circle out through the feet, the ankles, maybe just pointing through the toes, stretching through the tops of the feet, and then eventually let the tops of the feet come down to the mat. You can tap them out on the mat. Perhaps you feel this rush of energy through the feet and lower legs. Good. And we'll return the knees back to a wider position. And what we're going to do is kind of go from this wide-kneed tabletop position, tuck the toes, exhale the hips back. We're going to walk the hands with us, lift the knees off the ground, and sink the hips down towards the earth. So like a malasana squat. You can stay extra supported and have the security of your hands on the ground if that feels good. You also can have your heels lifted. They don't need to touch the ground. If they touch the ground, great. If not, that's totally fine. And then we're going to move fluidly. So thinking of that fluidness of the sacral chakra as we exhale, we'll walk the hands forward, lower the knees down, find that wide tabletop position. Inhale, belly drops down, coming into your cow pose. As you exhale, round the spine into your cat. Inhale to a neutral position. And then as you exhale, walk your hands back. Find your way to that malasana squat. Take a full round of breath in and a full breath out. And we'll start to walk the hands forward so the knees can come down. Tabletop position. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, walk the hands back. So find your flow here. And remember, it's your flow. It'll be different than anyone else practicing this. Let it be unique. So if you want to pause while you're in one position versus the other, you can start to take some movement, maybe opening up the knees to help open up the hips and inner groin a little bit. Or you can come back to that tabletop position. And if you don't want to do the malasana squat, you don't have to. You can just take some cat-cows. Get the fluid moving in the body. And we'll be here for about 3 more rounds. Now, at some point while you're in your malasana, if you want to open the arms up towards the sky, you can. They can lift off the ground. feeling into the trust of the legs supporting you, the trust of the feet grounding down. And then we'll all meet in that tabletop position. Let the knees come underneath the hips, the tops of the feet root down into the ground, and then we'll send the feet over to one side just to find our way to our seat. So as we're starting to approach this supine position where we're on our backs, take your time, find your way on your mat so you can rest yourself all the way down and be within the four corners of the mat. As you come down to your back, hug the knees into the chest and take some organic movements, a movement that feels natural, maybe circling out through the feet, maybe just kind of marching the legs a little bit. You can also extend the legs up to the sky and lower them down. And then we'll all meet with the knees stacked over the hips, the shins parallel with the ground, the toes spread wide. Then take a moment to spread your fingers really wide. So we bring a lot of openness and engagement into the palms. Keeping that engagement, begin to bring your hands to your thighs, palms to your thighs. Now do a little rock side to side just to make sure your low back is rooted down towards the ground and the tailbone is lengthened long. And then reset back at neutral position. Press your hands into your thighs and let your thighs rebound back into your hands. So it's like the hands are moving into the thighs are moving into the hands, but neither of them are allowing any movement to actually occur. As we do that, you'll start to feel the engagement in the core. So starting to kind of light up that solar plexus, feeling like there's this heat in the center of the torso. You're breathing. Although it doesn't look like much is going on from the outside looking in, on the inside there's a lot going on. There might be a little tremble, a little shake as you breathe, as you feel that core engage, root down from the belly to the back to the ground. Feel like the ground is pulling you down even more. Feel like the thighs continue to press harder into the hands continue to press harder into the thighs. We'll be here for 5. You've got this for 4. You are strong, you are capable. You can, you will. Good. Release the feet down to the ground. Take a moment to just land them, to reconnect soles of the feet to the earth. Allow the hands to come alongside of you, pressing the palms into the mat. Walk the heels in towards your glutes, and then press into your feet. Don't lift up through the hips just yet, but feel the feet pressing down into the ground so hard, like you're trying to root them through the concrete below. And then feel the engagement of the legs. So all of those muscles start hugging to the bone once again. And as you feel that with an in-breath, then begin to press so hard that the hips start to lift. And as the hips start to lift, all of those muscles continue to maintain that strength of hugging to the bones. The weight starts to shift towards the upper back body. So we create this space between the back and the earth. And we root down through the feet. Feel as though your inner thighs are hugging into a block between them. So the legs are the power in this pose. At the same time, we are opening up through the hips. And we have this gentle engagement in the core to help lengthen through the low back. So the tailbone is growing long. As we breathe in, we feel the strength as we rise up. As we breathe out, we feel that length in the tail. Glutes are engaged. We're super strong and supported in the 4 corners of the feet for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly lower down 1 vertebrae at a time from top to bottom. Once the sacrum touches down to the ground, walk the soles of the feet in towards each other. Let the knees open out wide, Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclined bound angle pose. Just letting the hips open up, release tension. One of my favorite variations within this pose is to kind of take my palms and rest them into the area where the hip creases are, kind of like into the tops of the thighs. And just like if you can imagine how a cat makes biscuits, you can do that here. So it's almost like you're kind of massaging into the thighs as well as decompressing into the spine, because we're really pressing the thighs away to create space between the lower vertebrae. At the same time, the sense of physical touch of yourself and your body is really grounding. It's comforting and supporting. Take 3 more breaths. And begin to bring your hands to the outer edges of the thighs. Help the knees in towards each other. Let your left foot land down. Hug your right knee into your chest. Give it a nice big squeeze. Take some points and flexes of the toes, of the ankle. With an inhale, extend that right leg up towards the sky, flex through the foot, really activate through the leg. As you exhale, cross right ankle over the left thigh. You can use your right hand to press the thigh away. Be sure to be super active in that top foot, as that'll protect the knee from overextending. Creating more space into the hip, especially utilizing the breath to visualize that space becoming present. So the inhales, we journey and navigate breath down into the hips. As we exhale, we release any tension that lingers there, any tightness. Think of it being washed away. And start to bring your hands out into a T position, palms face down. Really glue through the shoulders. Take a full inhale. Then as we exhale, we'll start to drop that right foot down towards the ground on the left side. So staying into this figure 4, but coming into a twist with it. If it's accessible, you can take your left hand to the right ankle. And then if it feels welcoming in the cervical spine, you can also gaze over towards the right. Bring your awareness to your center, to that core. And so the exhale is really providing this wringing out of yourself from that space. On your next inhale, fill all the way up. As you exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. We'll make our way back through center, replanting the left foot. Hug the right knee into the chest, give it a nice big squeeze, and then come into a half happy baby. Send your right foot up towards the sky. Your hand can come to the outer edge of your right ankle. It could come to the inner arch of your foot, or even the outer edge of your foot, whatever is more accessible. If you want to kind of take more of a modified version, you can just bring the hands behind the knee and feel like you're drawing your knee down towards the ground as the foot is trying to reach up towards the sky. Just make sure that the right shoulder is also drawing down towards the ground. We don't want to be lifted up in compensation, but we want to feel that sense of connection to the ground. I'll take a full breath in. And as you exhale, we'll release that right foot down to the ground. Inhale, the left knee hugs into the chest. Take some movement in the toes and the foot and ankle. And inhale that left leg up towards the sky. Flex through the foot, reach through the heel, spread through the toes. Exhale, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Guiding the knee away from the torso, allowing for extra space into that left hip. We'll start to take our arms out into a T. Still feel that energy of the leg drawing away from the body. Don't let it start to cave in, because you'll just close into the seat of the hip. So keep drawing the leg away. As the palms come down to the ground, take a full breath in, glue down through the left shoulder as that left foot reaches down towards the right side. Again, if it's accessible, the right hand can come to that top ankle and the gaze can come over towards the left. And take one more full breath in. Sigh it out. Release it, let it go. And then inhale, come back through center. When that right foot touches down, hug the left knee in and find your way into your half happy baby. Just be mindful that no two sides are the same. So this side might look and feel different than the other. That's okay. Just do your best. Explore maybe different options if one doesn't feel the greatest. And know that wherever you are is enough. Whatever your body is doing for you is beautiful. You showed up, that's the hardest part. So give yourself this sense of gratitude. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, release that left foot down to the ground. Extend the right leg to the corner edge of the mat. And then extend the left leg to the corner edge of the mat. Take any last minute movement, wiggles, fidgets to really get your body into the most stillness. Hands can rest wherever feel comfortable, maybe on your physical body, just for that extra sense of support and safety. And then when you feel like you are at your stillest space, take a big breath in through the nose, fill all the way up. Open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Invite the eyes to close shut. The breath to return to a natural rhythm. Feeling the weight of the body, be in surrender. And know that there's nothing left to do except to just be here. Take note of any areas of the body that are connecting to the ground beneath you. Notice the support as the ground holds you. And maybe noticing any clothing that touches the skin, how it feels. Maybe any draft of air that is brushing along the skin. And just take this moment to soak into the sensations of feeling centered and grounded, creative and fluid, and inspired and confident. Gently begin to bring your awareness to your breath once again. And as you breathe in, start to visualize a bright red color encasing your feet and your legs, wrapping around it and swirling it in warmth. As you breathe out, you bathe and soak in to that red, vibrant color. And then as you breathe in, begin to visualize a bright orange color encasing the hips and the pelvis, swirling around your body, creating this sense of comfort and joy. As you breathe out, really wrapping that color of orange, vibrant, around the body, swirling into that beautiful red, vibrant color within the legs. And slowly, as you breathe in, beginning to visualize a bright yellow color right above the navel, at the center of the body, emanating like the sun. It's vital, it's warm, and it swirls around your body, creating this heat. As you breathe in, you feel that color yellow swirl down into the color orange, which swirls down into the color red. And you have this beautiful, bright, vibrant rainbow of red, orange, and yellow that are glowing in unison with each other. And as it feels natural, start to find some gentle movement in the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles, the head, and the neck. Eventually, finding your way to a full body stretch, reaching the arms back behind, pointing through the toes, then hugging the knees into the chest. As you do so, you can rock side to side to massage the low back into the ground until you journey to either side. It doesn't matter which side you journey to, but as you rest in a fetal position on either side, use the bottom arm to support the head like a pillow. And just taking this opportunity to connect with yourself, to honor this sense of rebirth, renewal, and rebalancing within the lower chakras. So as we step off of the mat, we can truly stand in our power as we move through the physical and material worlds. When you're ready, use the strength of your hands to press yourself up to an easy seat. Try to keep your eyes closed as you journey there. Stacking the head over the shoulders over the hips, and bringing your hands to connect in front of the heart space, Anjali Mudra. A gentle bow of the head to the heart, just to honor that connection between the mind and the body. As we bow into this space, we honor, recognize, and respect the beautiful light within. It is within this light that we are all connecting, united as one, journeying home. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. As stated earlier, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. So if you feel like your chakras may be out of balance, that's okay. Let that be an opportunity to bring more awareness into how you can balance that. And feel free to share in the comments below anything that resonated with you, or maybe if one of these three chakras really stood out for you, or any movement that was favorited. I would love to hear that. Don't be shy. Share this with someone who can benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you on the mat soon. Namaste.